if you are not ready to like fart during sex, then you're not ready to have sex. Sex is inherently goofy. Sex is inherently weird and gross, and sex involves the human body doing a lot of weird, gross things. And so you need to be prepared to release all embarrassment before you bang. You're a human being, right? So you're gonna burp and you're gonna fart and you're gonna sneeze and you're gonna queef and your body's gonna make a weird, gross noise when it slaps up against another body and you're gonna get sweaty and smelly, and that's just how it is. You have to be comfortable with the fact that you're a human being before you can engage with another human being on this full level of vulnerability. If you're genuinely going to be so grossed out and turned off that you cannot continue to have sex if your partner like accidentally burps in your face during sex, then like you need to get over yourself. You need to be able to be comfortable enough with your partner to laugh and giggle at the inevitable awkward or gross moments that are going to happen during sex. You have to. A part of sex positivity that people don't really think about is the acknowledgement that sex can get weird and awkward and embarrassing and humiliating, and that sex is not going to be as perfect as you could imagine it. There's no such thing as perfect, inhuman, pristine sex. Porn and erotica and sex scenes in movies often don't show these awkward moments because the goal of those is to be showy or fantastical, to trigger the fantasy arousal inside of you, to give you a fake, imaginative, fictional experience of sex, the same way that you don't see Luke Skywalker take a massive shit because you're focusing on the fun, fantastical, exciting elements of Star Wars. It's the same reason that erotica and porn and stuff don't show you someone queefing. Unless you're into that, which, like, good for you. But in real life, in the real world, you're a human, and you're gross. You are gross. Anyone with a human body is gross. Gross is not a bad thing. You gotta release the idea that gross is bad. Fantasy is fantasy. Perfect sex is fantasy. And it belongs in fantasy, and it has every right to be something you fantasize about. But when you're with a real person in the real world, you gotta let some of your hang-ups go. Because the fact of the matter is that things are gonna get weird. And sex is so much fun when you can pause for a moment and giggle with your partner, or you can make a joke, or you can, have a positive, fun experience just being human together. It's awkward to shift positions. It's awkward when you get a leg cramp. It's awkward when you accidentally bump your head on something and you gotta move around. It's awkward when you have to pause halfway through sex to go take a piss. But you gotta be okay with that awkwardness. You gotta laugh at it, you gotta embrace it, and you gotta move on. One of the ways that sex negativity can manifest is sex perfectionism. And once you release that, you're gonna have some amazing freaking sex.